How's everybody doing today? This is one of the first videos we're going to do about trying to show guys how I play, how I think you should play, at least in structure. Not trying to tell you exactly what horses to take. But I get a lot of questions over the years, how do you play? What do you play? All these so-called experts really never tell anybody what they're playing. So this is where I'm different. I want to show everybody what I'm playing, what I look for, what I'm trying to find, and what I do. So I subscribe to what I've told many people already is the single spread theory of multi-race wagering. So what do I mean by this? Well, it's just like it sounds. In a pick 3 or pick 4, I'm looking desperately for a single. I don't like to play bets where I don't have a single. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for a horse in that sequence that's the most logical winner. I'm looking for dirt sprints if I can find a dirt sprint. If it's polytrack, same thing. I'm looking for a sprint if I can find one. Why? Because I'm convinced that that's what I'm best at is 6.5, 7 furlong sprints on dirt or polytrack. I think a lot less goofy stuff happens in those kind of races. So you got a more logical winner. I'm looking for the right post. I'm looking for the right trainer, the right rider. I want the right combination. I'm hoping that I can find a maiden race or an allowance race or even a maiden dropper into a maiden claiming race. I'm looking for a one-start horse. I'm looking for trainers like Pletcher, Romans, Jacobson, Maker, guys that are first off the claim, real high percentage. I'm looking for the most logical winner. I'm not as worried about what the price is. A lot of people are worried about prices. I'm not worried about the price when I'm trying to find a single. I'm just trying to find a horse that I can key my day around, that I think is going to win in that sequence of 4 races on that particular day or 3 races. If we can get a single at a decent price, that's great. That's even better. But I'm not going to stop the bet if the horse is 6-5. We're convinced over the years that you can still have big hits if you single a 6-5 shot. You just got to turn him into a 4-5, 10-1 shot by the way we're playing. So a typical bet of mine. What's a typical bet of mine? A typical bet of mine with the budget that I use just on a normal day, I'm not talking about a big day, I'm talking about a normal day, would be about a $10 pick 3. I'm looking for something like 1 times 3 times 6. That's an $18 play. I repeat it, on the ADW to try to avoid taxes. If I can do a 50-cent one, repeat it 20 times. Anything to avoid the taxes. A lot of people are lazy. They'll just go to the window and say, give me a $10 pick 3. Don't do that. If they're 50-cent bets, make a 50-cent one and tell that daggone teller to repeat it 20 times. That's their job. They can hit the button. It's not going to hold anything up. So in a 3-race sequence, basically, we're looking for the single, obviously, and then the race with the 3 horses. We're just looking at the 3 horses we like the best. But in the back of our mind, we want one of those 3 horses to be over 6 or 7 to 1. We do not want a 6-horse field where we got the 3 favorites. That's not what we're trying to do, because then if you have a 6-5 shot into a 2-1 shot, you're not really going to get that. The theory is you want to try to pick the toughest races around your single, whether it's the first races, into him, or he's first into 2 or 2 tougher races. You want to go into the tougher races because that's where you get prices. So if you can get a race where you got a 2-1 and a 4-1 and a 7-1, you're at least giving yourself a chance to hit that 7-1 into now 6 horses in the following race. Now, the rule in the following race is at no time, no way, do you want to look up at the board and have all 6 favorites. That's not what you're trying to do. We're trying to go into, say, a grass race where there's 12 horses, and a lot of times I'll look for the 2 horses I like the best. Doesn't matter what the prices are. I'm just taking those 2. And then the other 4, I'll look at the post positions, what post positions are winning, what trainers are hot, what riders are hot, and I don't care what the horse looks like. If the outside's winning on the grass in New York like it does a lot of times, I'll take 10, 11, 12. I don't care if they're 40 to 1, 15 to 1, 10 to 1. It doesn't matter. We're trying to catch lightning in that race of 6 horses. And if you don't give yourself a chance by just taking all the favorites, then you've eliminated yourself from having a nice hit. So that's what we're looking for in those. And then, just to give you an example, the other night at Turfway Park, when Mac the Man ran, Mac the Man was 12 to 1 on the morning line. That was our key play. We knew we weren't going to get 12 to 1. They bet him down to 4 to 1. He opened 2 to 1, went off 4 to 1. So he was our key horse. So we took 3 or 4 horses in the race before him, and then I took 6 horses in the race after him. So, the bet cost, I believe, if I remember right, the bet cost $180, and we got back $360 for $1. So that's a huge hit when you start repeating that. Every time you hit repeat, you get another $360. And that's non-tax. So you can have yourself a really nice hit and it's all about your budget too. You don't have to bet $10 ones. If you bet a 50-cent one, it's $9. If you bet $1 one, it's $18. You can play this way on a small budget. You don't have to have a big budget to play this way. I know my biggest critic in New Jersey, the little fat guy, wants to cry that all my tickets are $200 and $300. That's not true. They're $200 or $300 because of my budget, and I repeat them a bunch of times. You don't have to do that. If you have a smaller budget, I know there's a lot of small players out there asking me how to play. That's the way I would play. And then if your budget is really small, say less than $100 a day, I would play rolling doubles instead of the pick 3. Take the 1 times 3 in the doubles, or take that single into the hardest race, 1 times 6, and make $2 and $3 doubles. You can't go for the $3,000 and $4,000 hit with a really small budget. Try to have a $200 hit. You win on the day, so why do anything silly? You're trying to win. The goal is to win and have some fun. So hopefully this helped you out a little bit on the philosophy that I like to play. The smaller budget guys, don't hesitate to just bet daily doubles. Have a single, to have 3 or 4 in the next race. You're talking, $8, $10, repeat it a couple times, spend $20. Instead of just betting 10 to win on the horse, it gives you a chance to try to hit a couple hundred. And then the medium guys like myself, if you want to spend $100 to play, I may only take 300 or 400 to the track with me for a day, but I'll only make 2 or 3 plays with that. I'm not going to make 25 plays. I'm going to make 2 or 3 plays. They're all going to be $150 to $250 type plays, and see if I hit. And if I don't hit, I go home. There's nothing wrong with trying to hit. You don't hit, there's always another day. So hopefully this helped you a little bit. I'll keep in touch here as we continue through the year.